Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them? Episode 233, second episode with the new cameras. And you guys, I feel like it was a big hit. I think you liked it. Jessie said that she saw some people comment that they didn't even notice. And to that, I say, you're a liar.
That was rude. No. Honestly, okay, so a few things. YouTube actually automatically plays YouTube videos in 720. So you have to like automatically go in and change it. So that might be the case.
When you go in and change it, I actually just found out that this only is for premium people. But I mean, everyone can change it to 1080. You click like the little gear thing and then you click quality and then it gives you a bunch of options.
Yeah.
If you have premium, then you can also click 1080 enhanced bitrate and that makes it look even clearer. So I recommend that if you have premium. We would do it in 4K, but it would take 5 hours to
so for those of you that were like, are you sure that this is a big difference? It's that it is a difference. Now, it's not a huge difference. It's not like you're watching a fucking movie in the fucking movie theaters. Okay, we realize that. However, if you look at old episodes or just like past episodes and you like zoom into us, like we are blurry. And so this just takes off a little bit of that blur and we can't upload in the full quality of our cameras because you would never see the uploads because it takes so fucking long.
Yeah.
We record in 4K, but
we do.
We're not uploading in 4K.
It makes it so when I'm color correcting, because I don't know if you have we ever I mean, I guess I put it on my like Instagram once, but like if you guys have seen some of the shots beforehand, what they look like before I color it.
They look like shit.
They're like not, because we use like, these are like how the sausage
These are like backyard floodlights is what they are.
One of the little ones. So they're like these little lights and we can change the color. So
people think we do green screen.
Yeah. So our wall is actually just white and then we just have the same lights that we match it to the same color.
I think we have shown them before, but can we just really quickly cut to us without it?
Oh god.
So you could just see what this podcast would be if it wasn't colored.
What I have to deal with, yes.
Yeah, literally this is how Lily gets it. And then she does some things that I am not privy to and nor do I ever want to be privy to because I can't.
It's honestly, it's intense. You would think it would have gotten easier as time went on, but it actually got more complicated because I figured out some other techniques and it's not a simple task.
All of this, by the way, was born because on our first ever episode, we were going to do split screen, both on a white background. And I just told Lily, I'm like, I fucking hate split screens. I think it just looks tacky. I don't know. And then she's like, let me see. I think maybe I can do something. And then she just kept trying things and boom, we were on a white background.
We started with white and that was much easier to do.
Until people were like, my eyes.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, we can do color. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, color is a little harder to do. And green screens I hate because you can you can tell. Like the hair, especially with my hair because it's so light.
Yeah.
What I was getting to is, especially for Jessie, her room is bigger and she's getting new lights and we're adjusting. But her color.
Yeah, one just fell on me right before we started filming and it spilled my margarita all over my sweater and I had to change.
It's true, that did happen.
We're getting a new situation, okay? Because if you saw right now, it's something.
Well, and so her color background isn't as vibrant. So I have to like do a lot to like pull that color out of it. And because of that, you can like zoom in on old episodes. Like the edges are like weird or like kind of like moves or it's like fuzzy. So now that we have, I don't know, just like it's a higher quality and it gets more of the darks than the lights and it's just like gives me more to work with. So I feel like it's like the chair isn't fuzzy anymore and it's exciting.
Yeah. Okay, well, love that for us, and hopefully you guys love it too. It's so funny because in the description, you literally wrote, if you don't like the cameras, like, don't tell us.
I don't want to know. It's not like we're going to fucking return them.
Actually, Alex was asking me that when I told him, I'm like, some people are saying they didn't even notice. He's like, so are we returning the cameras? Because that was expensive. I'm like, no, we're not.
I feel like even when we're like, oh God, I hope it looks good enough to justify what we just paid for them. But like, I feel like it's also like, again, those were really old cameras. So I feel like it was time for
literally, they were super old. And my little brother's thrilled. He's going to get my old camera.
Oh, look at that. You get a gift
so he's not going to let me return them. Anyway, we're stuck with them.
Yeah.
Also, before we begin, I want to give a quick little shout out to our bonus episode this week because I know a lot of viewers have been wanting to see us cover this, and it's the Wombland saga. If you were on TikTok,
I was like, what did we cover? I forgot already. It was yesterday.
You joking?
We filmed it. Oh my God, you guys.
Dude.
It was such a journey. I
was literally cracking up editing. And then my brother who edits for the podcast, he came to my house and he literally told me, he's like, that is one of my favorite topics you guys have done in a while. I was like cracking up. He wasn't aware of the Wombland saga either.
That's it.
So if you were there,
one of the most,
you need to go check that out.
Outrageous topics. I think we've like, and I didn't know anything about it. And we'd even said that like it randomly came up in our lawsuit like group chat literally like over a year ago. Kitty and Becca had explained it to me, but I thought it was gonna like ring a bell and I was gonna no, none of it rang like the whole thing. It was like hearing it.
It's a fever dream.
It was insane.
I want to preface this post by saying every rumor you've heard about this person hitherto on this app has been made up by Neil.
Hitherto?
Hitherto. Everything you have heard hitherto.
I'm sorry I let you down.
Okay.
I have an ache that lives deep in my womb lands.
Oh my god.
You knew.
We don't know, no.
You fucking knew.
Oh god. So you get my first reactions, which are very...
It's so good. So we normally stray away from like covering old topics here on the main show just because it's like there's so many new things happening, and I feel like that's what we've kind of just been doing on the show since forever. We don't cover like old ass drama but from like years ago. So I just feel like it was a nice like change, and I really liked doing it because it's like you really did have no idea, and I just got to fill you in, and I think it was great fun. So if you've ever wanted to join the Patreon, I'm
Now's
just
the
saying,
time.
I think that's our best bonus episode.
no,
I
had a great time filming it. People have been suggesting, especially for the Patreon, for us to do old topics a lot. And I think the reason we haven't is because so many of them, like for an old topic to be important enough that people would want us to talk about it now, they're like such deep dives that it's like, we don't have time. But this one was like a manageable amount.
Yeah, for sure. And also my brother brought up why he thinks it's enjoyable, like for him when he was, because he's a viewer and an editor, you know what I mean? So he also just watches the show. And he's like, I think for a viewer, it's nice because it feels like lower stakes because like the person we're talking about has already healed. You
Well,
know
that's
what I mean?
I
Like
said.
we're not
I was
talking
like,
about people
there
in
was
distress.
like some serious stuff in it, and I kept laughing,
For sure.
and I felt bad. But I was like, but I also feel like it's not as bad because they've had 3 years. Like it's not happening to them right now.
And this episode is going to be for Clout Goblin and Diabolical tiers. So if you sign up for $5 or $10, you're going to get to see this episode. Just wanted to throw that out there in case you've been, wanting to join. I don't know. Just a little teaser.
We needed it to be available for everyone because everyone needs to see it.
Literally. It would have been a crime not to. Anyway, so we do have an episode today. Today we're going to be talking about a few things that are, it's probably the second topic, Bri Olsen, definitely going to piss us off it does usually. But there has been a lot there as far as updates go. So since we've kind of been keeping up with it at this point, we're going to talk about that update, but we'll just leave that to the end.
Yeah, tell me this one. She said it was like too bizarre to explain, basically.
Well, like I just didn't know how to summarize it because I got tagged today in a TikTok and essentially someone just said, this is insane. This needs to be on the pod. Like that was what the tag was. It wasn't like I was getting tagged a bunch. Yeah, it was just like one person who was like, you have to cover this. And when I clicked on it, I was like, pardon? And then there's a bit here because it involves someone we've covered before. So let's just get into it. There's 3 people we're going to be talking about. The first person is Hannah. And you might recognize Hannah because she is the woman that we covered because of the Instacart thief. Remember the pack and play?
She's the one that got stolen from?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. She's not the Instacart lady.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
Hannah.
yeah.
Do you remember her?
Yeah. And she posted, I think, a clip from us.
Oh, I didn't know that actually, but that's interesting. It seems like became somewhat of an influencer after that. She's at 471,000 followers.
Good
and
for you,
I mean,
girl.
that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does like motherhood content and all that kind of stuff. And we'll introduce the other characters in a second. But essentially what happened was that Hannah found a kitten. Her daughter actually found the kitten. And then she decides to like document that whole series.
It's real funny when people say the world works in mysterious ways or the Lord works, however you believe. It really does. He really does. I'm not pregnant, breastfeeding, nursing, none of that. I packed up the baby clothes up into the attic. They're not coming down for years. I've been loving my sleep, loving it. Well, this morning I get up, I go outside, I'm getting something out of my car. My toddler follows me out. She says, Mommy, there's something black under the car. She's freaking out. I'm thinking it's probably just a mouse. Honestly, y'all know me and mice. No, it's a kitten.
Oh my God.
It's a little kitten. So we get the kitten, and wouldn't you know it, I'm mixing formula, checking the bottle temperature on my wrist. It's too hot, it's too cold. I'm damn near swaddling this kitten, sitting in there about to do skin to skin because I couldn't get her to latch. The first time she did latch, I cried. I did leaps of joy. If I could breastfeed her, I would.
Period.
This is my baby. This is my child.
It's so little.
And I will now be up every 2 hours.
She's like shaking
I
it,
know. I was
though.
like, be careful though. I mean, the cat distribution system.
What is that again? I've heard of that.
It's basically when people just like cats come into their lives and like pick them.
Oh, that's how I found my cat.
It's because it's the cat distribution system.
That's
It doesn't
so
work
funny.
as much with puppies, mostly cats, but yeah.
Cats are like, sure, I'll live with you, I guess, if you feed me.
It's like, oh, food,
Bitch.
bed, cool.
However, when there is just one cat, usually there are more cats. Okay, I mean, usually kittens are born in more than one.
She showed just, and it's so little, it's like, where are the rest of them?
Well, I'll tell you exactly where they were.
Oh, she's right there.
Oh my God.
There's another one. It's in my garage.
Okay, I've come to the conclusion that the mom cat is obviously trying to put her kittens in a safe spot, and she has, for some reason, deemed my car that safe spot. So what I'm gonna do is give her a safe space here. Y'all remember Pack and Play Gate? Ship sent me this Pack and Play to save the day, and it looks like they're saving the day again, but I hate that I'm gonna have to cut a hole in this Pack and Play.
I don't think she's ever even opened it because it literally looks unopened. So she essentially sets up the Pack and Play outside with like a cover over it, cuts a hole in it because she's like, I don't know how it is for like postpartum cats and they're healing.
She becomes now a foster mom for a bunch of kittens.
Essentially, yes, correct. Now, when you do anything with animals online, people are
Lots of
gonna
opinions.
have thoughts.
Lots of opinions.
I mean, let's never forget Jenna Marbles apologizing for the fish. Do you remember that?
That was the most confusing video I've ever seen.
And I mean, she's so sweet. And like, obviously she just like was like totally fine with learning. And the thing is that obviously, and I mean, I've encountered that so many times with this podcast, when there's a lot of people that are watching your shit, there's going to be people that know a million times more than you in a subject.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be every subject, but more than likely there's going to be someone smarter than you and someone that like went to school for that or knew about that. So it's not uncommon that people weigh in.
No. It just ranges with how they weigh in.
You mean like the pitchforks?
Yeah, like are they condescending and like
Constructive?
lecturing you, or are
Probably.
they being like, actually, you should maybe do this?
The next person we need to talk about is Casey Productions _ because this is a creator that basically only creates content surrounding neonatal kitty care.
Yeah, their bio
Okay.
says that they are an aggressive cat activist.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Dismantle the cat
Considering this
distribution
situation.
system. Interesting.
Oh,
Why?
wait.
Why dismantle
Jasmine's
it?
not going to be happy about that.
I was like, that's, I don't understand.
You know what? I almost wonder if it's maybe just more a push for like neutering,
Probably.
spaying. I think I've said this before, but Jasmine was a kitten. She was so young. She shouldn't have been spayed yet, but she was, because the Humane Society in Miami catches them, spays them, and then re-releases them, and they like clip their ear. So her little ear is clipped. And then when I went to the vet, they're like, yeah, she's already spayed,
Why'd they clip their ear?
to signify to other like vets that they've been spayed.
It feels like there's a different way you could do that.
They
Anyway.
also do a tattoo on them.
That-
It's like a little
sure,
green tattoo.
sure.
You can barely see it. I don't know. I
Anyway,
don't fucking know. Okay,
yeah.
but she was already spayed. So that is dismantling the cat distribution center or system. But also, it's like if we didn't have a cat redistribute,
Then you just have
whatever.
homeless
It's
cats.
hard to say. Yeah, and then I wouldn't have Jasmine.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, she is the next person we're talking about because she saw Hannah find these kittens and she was like, wait a second, I need to instruct
Dismantle the
you.
cat distribution system.
But well, she was just like, I need to instruct you how to deal with this. Now, I do know like kittens, I mean, it's like a newborn baby. So they cannot fend for themselves. I think there's this like misconception with animals that like, because they're born in the wild, they can like fend for themselves essentially.
Well, and like finding a baby, any kind of animal, like a baby that's
Yeah.
like not even ready to leave its mom is much different than like getting a normal puppy or getting a normal kitten. So I would have no idea how to take care of it. I would just do a lot of Googling, but that would be my hyper focus for the next few months.
Exactly. So she saw this video that we're about to watch, which is an update on the kittens, and she felt like she needed to respond. So we'll get to that in a second, but this is the TikTok.
Here is the kitten update. It's 9:45. I'm coming with no news, honestly. We've been checking on them all night. They're all still snuggled up. There's one kitten I'm kind of concerned about, the one that was in my car. Just isn't
Weren't they all in the
moving
car?
much.
So I think the first one that they found was under the car. That's why the daughter was able to see it. And then when they went looking for more, I guess maybe they heard the meowing is when they saw it. And I'm like, God, thank God they didn't turn that car on.
I know. I was thinking that when she was telling
I
me.
hate the fact that animals will nest in a car. I mean, I know they're just trying to do the best that they can, but I'm like, fuck, that is such a like
I'm like, that's so
traumatic
dangerous.
thing.
I've tried to get them to eat and they just won't eat. They're still out in the Pack and Play. The chicken has not been touched, but I'm just telling myself that the roads are still busy. Like mom will probably come
The
at
chicken.
night when it's safer.
Sorry. So that was a thing I forgot. So when she set up the Pack and Play, she put food out for the mom cat.
Oh, for the mom cat. I was going to say, because they can't eat chicken.
No, she didn't leave the kittens in the Pack and Play. She put the kittens in, I think, her garage. And then the mom Pack and Play is outside.
So she hasn't seen the mom. She's hoping that the mom comes back.
She's hoping she'll come. Yeah.
Got it.
Well, because the mom's the one that put them there.
Yeah,
They couldn't do that by themselves. Yeah.
She basically doesn't know, like, if she like abandoned the kittens or if she like went out to get
She
food
doesn't
or
know.
something and
Yeah.
like was
So she's trying to lure her in and see.
So I imagine she wants the quiet and dark of night. We just went out and set out her baby monitor. So we have the Nanit camera up on a stand. I don't know if I should feed them. That's where I'm kind of in a tough spot because I want them to cry out so that mama hears them. I feel like if I'm just feeding them, then they're quiet, they're asleep, they're snuggled up. Like the mom isn't going to hear them unless she's around sniffing, but I need her to like clock in, hear them. They're right here. We also opened our garage, cracked it a little bit in case She comes in there. But yeah, I don't know if I should feed them. Somebody tell me before.
Absolutely, you should feed them. They need to eat every 2 hours. So Catherine, the cat rescuer, she sees this, and I mean, hearing that someone's considering not feeding the cats, I think it just kind of like struck a chord, and she was just scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
but
we'll get
she
into
was
the
asking
order.
if she should. She wasn't like,
She
I'm
was
going to
asking.
starve these kittens.
Yeah, no, 100%. I will say her caption for this says, advice welcome. Also, we are wiping them and feeding on bellies. She was asking for advice.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to show you in the order that like kind of the public found out about things, because until Hannah weighs in later, we didn't know that Catherine had actually commented on Hannah's TikTok, and we'll get into that in a bit. But publicly, what we've seen is that Catherine stitched Hannah's video, and she was obviously concerned.
We've been checking on them all night.
I'm only doing this because I don't think that she's going to see her messages, but those kittens need to be pottied immediately. They probably have not been pottied at all, especially if they obviously haven't been.
I don't know what that means. Okay. Don't even ask, Lily.
Okay.
I can see your face. I know you want to ask, and I don't know.
I whispered, what does that mean? Yeah.
Hours. Who knows how long the mom was gone before that, how long ago that they've eaten. They need to eat, and they need to go potty. Kittens can get dehydrated very easily. It literally will dry out their entire inside. So even if then they do eat food, it's not going to rehydrate them immediately, just like humans. And they're going to become constipated, and that congestion can kill them.
Oh my God.
It already sounds like one is going to pass from fading kitten
Oh
syndrome.
my God.
But this is not, and I think this woman is so sweet, and I know she's trying to help, and she's going through all these lengths to help. This is not how you handle this situation. This is not a world where we put babies outside and we wait for them to come back. Just like if you found puppies. If you found a puppy, you would not handle it this way. Having the mom around is great. Getting the mom to come to them, like, she's gonna look for those babies. She could have been killed outside, like, trying to hunt for these babies. Like, this is really stressing me out.
She mentioned fading kitten syndrome, and I had no idea what that was. I do know, like, my mom has helped with the birth of kittens before, and I know some of them can be born and like either not be alive or be very, very like sleepy and just like not moving a lot.
You know what it reminded me of? It's not funny. You remember in 101 Dalmatians when the puppy, like, they have to rub
I haven't
it?
seen that movie in so
I thought
long.
you were going to say you haven't seen it. And I was like,
no, in so long.
anyway,
like literally since I was a kid.
one of the puppies is like not moving and they have to like rub it to like make it wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, yeah. So it says here that fading kitten syndrome refers to a kitten's failure to thrive during the period between birth and when they wean from their mother or a bottle. This period lasts about 4 to 5 weeks. When a kitten is most vulnerable to sickness, fading kitten syndrome is typically fatal, but recognizing the symptoms can help you understand when to get vet help. And did she say that the kitten was going to die?
Yeah, I was like, this escalated very quickly. You didn't
She
even
said
see
that,
it.
right?
Yeah, she said it's probably going to pass or something.
I mean, she knows way more than we do in this field, but yikes, girl.
I was like, wow, we're not being optimistic at all.
Yeah, so we'll just let her keep going. But imagine like Hannah seeing this. She probably was just like, oh, geez. I feel like when you hit someone with so much at once, they may be less susceptible to actually listening to the advice. So she may be well-intentioned here and she's more knowledgeable in the field. But like Hannah's probably going to be like, girl, like what? Everything's fine. All the kittens are alive. Like I'm feeding them. I don't know. You know what I mean?
She was looking for advice. And also it's like if she hadn't taken them out of her car, then like they probably would have died anyway.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So she is helping them. But also Catherine recognizes that. So anyway, she continues on with her advice.
Look up how to potty a baby. And if you can get your hands on some miracle nipples, maybe they'll make it. But they need to eat soon. They're not going to use those nipples the size of kittens that they are, the age that they are. They're not going to use the nipples that you get at the store in the little pack. They literally look up miracle nipples. That's the best advice I can give you. I hope that you see this and that those kittens, some of them make it, but a heating pad is I'm assuming you don't have a heating pad that runs 12 hours. So that means that they were probably cold at night. Please feel free to message me if you need any help. Sounds like you're down south, so I'm not sure there's going to be many rescues that are going to help you, but post in your local community groups on Facebook and see if there's any bottle feeders that know what they're doing that can help out. But I would do that like fast, girl. fast.
We went
Thoughts?
from one of them passing to like all of them are gonna die.
Seriously, I was just like, oh, I haven't seen the whole video and I don't want to like dog on her. I think she was just passionate about this subject, but it's a lot.
And I'm not doubting her like knowledge and like expertise in the field, but I also feel like everyone that's ever found kittens before, like they don't just die because you aren't like a neonatal specialist, you know?
Unfortunately, like you don't really know what to do other than like the best you can. So as long as you're doing the best you can, which it seems like Hannah is.
I'm sure there are situations where you do need to do certain things or they might have certain health issues, but I feel like animals are so resilient.
I don't want to advertise like people just like not giving a shit and like, you know what I mean? But Hannah seems to care.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, she was posting asking for advice. I'm just more of the idea, like, give her tools that she needs to like do it correctly instead of assuming that they're just going to die.
Well, I mean, but she did. She said the miracle nipple
but then
thing.
she also was saying like, go find someone to do it.
She did say that. That is true. Yeah, interesting. So, well, I think that what caught her off guard was Hannah saying, I'm going to try to like not feed them maybe so that they'll cry.
Yeah.
That probably was alarming for her to hear because that would kill them. So she probably was just like defensive because of that and just like feeling like she needed to say something to Hannah quick.
No, and I don't think she was coming from a bad place. I don't feel like she wasn't going to like feed them for like an extended period of time. I think she just meant like hopefully in the next few hours, I don't know.
Yeah, but imagine someone saying that about a human baby. It's insane. You can't just not feed a baby because they'll die.
But also a human isn't going to put their baby in a car and hope for the best while they go hunt and then potentially die. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you who wasn't pleased with Catherine's response and her delivery of it. No, not Hannah. Well, maybe Hannah. I don't know. But Hannah's friend and large content creator with 500,000 followers, Danita. Okay, Danita Barr on TikTok. She's a friend of Hannah. Okay. And she makes like comedy content, which is funny because our researcher, there was like somebody in this, I don't want to like out who she had blocked, but she had one person blocked in this situation and then one person that she had reposted. And I was like, girl, you are all up in TikTok, has so many all crevices of it.
All the time.
So many. But honestly, protect your peace, queen.
I just think it's so funny because I never block anyone.
No, same. But Danita makes, I'll show you the type of content she makes because then we start seeing her comments and I feel like you need to see the kind of like person she is online, I guess, just to like get a vibe of her.
I just watched this girl say with her whole chest, with her whole chest, if you don't want to go to the gym, how about you just close your eyes and imagine yourself running down the beach in slow motion. How about I fucking don't, you fucking bitch? That was rude as hell. And I'm still not going to the gym. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. I like her.
Son of a bitch.
So that's Danita.
Okay.
Don't get too fun too quick.
Oh, no. Okay. I take it back.
I fear we're on the wrong side so far during this coverage.
Oh, no. I don't have anything against the girl Catherine. I want to make that clear. I was just saying her advice was very dark.
You're fine, queen. It's okay. Don't worry. We all have our, this is a journey, not a destination.
Initial reactions. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Danita commented multiple times on Catherine's post, and we don't know what the first comment was, but we do know what the second one was because Catherine replied to it. So as you know, TikTok, even if you delete your comment, if someone does a video replying to your comment, it still shows.
Love that.
However, our researcher did put here that Danita went into Catherine's comments asking if she's a vet. So I guess just inquiring about her knowledge, but we don't know exactly what it said. However, this is the second comment. It says, babe, why'd you delete my comment? I'll post it again just in case. And then this is Catherine's response.
Oh, no.
The people with these giant followings coming after me for cat stuff when literally everything on my profile is cats. It's the reason I have any followers whatsoever. But let's do this. So here she's pissed because she thinks that I've removed her comment saying, oh, you're a fucking vet now? Like she's so lucky to have you. When the video that's commented on is me responding to a woman who posted asking for advice about the 3 cats that she found hiding in her car. Kittens that came from a cat that was living on her property that she loved, and she'd be so sad that something happened to it when she was educating us on why the mom didn't come back because she wasn't getting her kittens. Meanwhile, she's cutting a hole in a pack and play and putting chicken outside to attract every single predator as she waits for the mom to come back. The problem I have is the fucking content high you bitches get on with this shit, especially with the cat distribution system. Because you could pick up your phone and you could Google, you could call a professional, you could find out the nipples on those bottles are too small and that they need to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And then you get annoyed when people clap back at you saying, hey, you got to do this, even though you asked for advice. No, these content high hoes, the first thing that you do instead of grabbing your phone to Google and educate yourself is you grab a fucking tripod and you set it up because this is going to get you content. The cat distribution system.
Why is she so mad at
I was like, I feel like the cat distribution system is catching strays. No pun intended.
It's so funny that you brought it up in the beginning because I had never even heard of that.
It's just like a thing because like people just like kind of get cats. Like you don't usually go buy cats.
You know what though? Maybe it's more problematic because it's like, because there are so many strays because of the lack of neutering and spaying and stuff.
I guess, but
and
I don't
it's
really know how that's that relevant in this situation.
I don't know. I have no idea of the lore of the cat distribution. I'm just finding out about it right now. Now, I will say she is not wrong about Hannah getting annoyed about receiving the advice that she asked for.
Yeah, I was like, but you asked.
Yeah, look at this TikTok. It just seems like she's like, okay, people, stop.
I know there's a lot of people here about the kittens, and I feel like if you're going to follow me for the kittens, there's a few things that you need to know about me. I know it looks all sweet and innocent and like I might be some wholesome creator, and I am, but I'm also pretty rough around the edges. I like to garden in both ways. The kittens are very good, okay? I didn't update throughout the day because I had a busy day with my kids and the cat. Not only feeding them, teaching them to eat from the bottles. The feeds take time. And then I'm also taking care of 2 toddlers. Yes, we are wiping their butts. We are making them pee. Yes, we are putting them down on their bellies. Yes, we are heating up the milk, but it's not too hot. All these advices you've given, guys, I'm so serious about these cats. I also want the best for them. And putting the time, I'm putting the energy. You don't have to come in my comments. I let my kids hold the kittens. They were very gentle with them. Gentle with their pets. We're gentle with our pets. Like you haven't jammed to that. Like I've taught my kids to be gentle and they were.
Just the way that she's like, stop coming in the comments. Like if you say advice welcome, you're asking people for advice, you're documenting it, you're profiting off of it. People are gonna come in and talk, girl. You
That's
asked them
also
to.
the kind of the thing is like, well, it's clear she did research by herself, I think, probably first. Like she didn't, like she didn't need
figured
the
it out.
TikTok advice to be able to do whatever she was doing.
But she wanted
So now-
content
Exactly.
too. She's a content hi-ho, as Catherine would say.
I was a little confused why she brought up gardening, aka smoking.
I think to be like, I don't know, like I'm not cookie cutter or something. I don't fucking know.
Felt a little
It's like, okay.
out of, it was like, cool, whatever.
And I mean, I get it. You have a TikTok account, something happens in your life. It doesn't mean that you're consciously thinking, ooh, let me exploit this. It's literally just like, oh, this is something that happened. Let me document this. And then you don't realize just how many people that's going to attract and how many people, when you ask for advice, are going to flood in with advice.
sure.
Like, I don't think she realized. And then they want updates. It's not just advice.
Yeah.
Now you owe us the updates.
I always think it's crazy that when people film things like as they're happening, because I'm like, oh my God, when things are
That's
happening,
the last thing on my mind.
I can't multitask like that.
Dude, we literally talked about the Sabrina Carpenter concert for months, and then it got there, and did I even pick up my camera like twice? Like I just was like just in the zone. I'm just there. Even if something exciting happens.
I have plenty of concert videos on my phone, but we don't want anyone to see those.
No, Lily was hammered. The phone was out the entire time, but I didn't even know what you were filming.
Well, you don't want to see it because
it's just a bunch of shaky videos.
Like, no, it's all of us in it. But oh my God, yeah.
You know what's so funny? When we got home, you were so drunk.
I literally, that is the only time I've gotten drunk in the last like 2 years.
You were literally standing like Michael Jackson, like doing his trick that he goes like this. You were just like in my living room, like fully bent forward at a like 45-degree angle.
Told you that I was.
And I appreciate it. Yep. It was a fun time, Queen. We'll let Catherine finish. Sorry, we interrupted her midway, but I just wanted to show you that Hannah actually was annoyed with advice a little bit because I don't think she knew what she was asking for.
Why wasn't it interesting when the fucking mom was coming around? You had no like inkling to try to find its home to see if it was fixed. How did you not notice that maybe it was acting a little bit differently pregnant? Like I can see maybe that one, but I digress.
She knew the cat ahead of time?
I think that was like a local stray is what I'm gathering.
Okay. How would she know? Did it ever come back?
What do you mean, the stray?
Yeah, the mom.
Well, before she was a mom.
Yeah, but how would she
just
know?
as a stray
but
cat.
did the mom ever come back?
No.
Then how would she know it was the mom?
Probably looks like them. I mean, like for instance, I have 2 cats. One is a black and white cat that comes outside and like calls for Jasmine. And it was like, "Rah!" Like that. Like it's like actually insane. And then Jasmine's inside like, man, I don't know what the fuck they're saying to each other. Okay. But it gets pretty heated. So yeah, like I recognize the stray cats in my area and they don't belong to anyone.
Yeah, but
they just roam and they're just strays. So you recognize.
Yeah, you'd recognize the cat, not the babies.
I would recognize his babies because they'd be black and white.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like cats look like their parents. It's not like they're just random cats that pop out.
I don't know. I just feel like we don't know the mamas.
Okay. Anyway,
call Maury.
Get out of here with your fucking 500,000 followers because you guys are the problem with the fucking narrative. While the rest of us are out here in rescue, and I'm so tired of being nice. I'm really not doing nice anymore, and I know everybody else in rescue feels the same fucking way that I do. You guys out here with your 500,000 fucking followers creating this narrative of this is how, because that's what they're going to remember, right? There are people in the comments following her and saying, oh, I can't believe you did this, is such a good thing. That's somebody that is going to choose that action, reach out to that person if they were to end up in the same situation, which means more dead kittens. And I know that nobody fucking cares about that, but it would be nice. It would be nice if in this day and age, you educated people instead of raising your platform. Content high is all that it's about now, and it's a fucking joke.
We're doing a lot of mixing of things here.
Listen. Queen, I hear ya. Okay. And honestly, like, I feel like rescue workers are people that work in any sort of like charity capacity where you're just like putting in this time and effort. It's underappreciated. It's underfunded. You feel burnt out. And to see a content creator just swoop in and just be like, oh, I found kittens, whatever. But to look at it third party, okay, I think that rescue workers are saints and we need them. And then also just like looking at Hannah, it really just seems like she's just doing the best she can with what she got dealt. Like, I don't know what else she could have really done in this situation. It was Catherine herself who said that probably in the South, which I think if I'm not remembering wrong, Hannah's in Florida. Yeah, like there might not be rescues that would take the kittens. And it just seems like Hannah is doing the best that she can. So I do feel like her anger is not necessarily towards Hannah. However, imagine having all that frustration as a rescuer and like dealing with all the shit that you have to deal with.
No, well, that's what I said. It was like, it feels like a mix of like the comment pissed her off. Then Hannah annoyed her because she was just kind of like aloof and like should have been researching herself, not asking people on TikTok.
Correct.
And then also just a bunch of projecting from her own like issues with being,
I think that mainly the mixture is actually just Danita's comment pissed her off and then her frustrations. Like, I think that's what it is. It wasn't even so much Hannah, although she could have felt some type of way about what Hannah was doing. The whole like content high hose and stuff. I think that was provoked by Danita.
She's mixing like all of them together.
Now strap in because it's about to get crazy.
Oh no.
Catherine responds to yet another Danita comment that is deleted. You want to read that comment?
I have so much time to argue with you about nothing. LOL. I promise I have all the time in the world. I have nothing better to do. I promise.
Now Danita is a woman that has kids. She works. And it's like, girl, at the same time, come on. Like, this is childish.
Yeah, well, like, why are we going after this girl?
Yeah. Like, she was obviously frustrated because of her
in
background.
The past that there have been situations that I'm like, oh, I have the time.
Right. This wouldn't have been it.
This is not one of them. No.
Hey, guys, sorry. I'm not allowed to post anything about kittens anymore. Especially if somebody asks for it. Don't. Because Danita denying the access to that information from me.
I'm so dead, actually.
And she's here all day, so I don't know when I can help again.
I'm annoyed with everyone.
Now, somehow, Danita got Catherine's number, and she called her.
What is...
Yeah, I told you to strap in.
Yeah, never mind. I take it back. Why do we have her phone number?
And not only that, she leaves a comment on her TikTok that says, I tried to call you. Why didn't you answer? With a sad face.
This is insane behavior. What are you talking about?
It's giving, literally, you need help. Like, what the fuck?
Am I getting catfished? This is a known content creator. She just called me. She just posted my information on TikTok, where I live, phone number, everything.
What?
Tried to call me because she didn't like that I responded to somebody asking about cat advice.
She doxed her too?
As someone who's a neonatal specialist, I responded to a cat video, and this Danita Barr lady, 517,000 followers, 22 million likes, called me. Did she get hacked or something?
Nope. She didn't.
Why the fuck would she dox her? I have done deep dives and found people's information that they probably wouldn't like me to have. But guess what? I don't call them. I don't post it, even when I don't like them.
When you're a public figure, and not even a public figure, when you have a public profile, haven't you? We've talked about that girl who finds people based off like, oh, I'm super private. And then she finds everything about them. Have you remember her?
There is very, very, very few people that you cannot find somewhere.
And especially like you're a larger creator than her. And doxing, I think, isn't it
it's illegal?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, to show their address and stuff.
That's the thing. It's not doxing to say someone's name. That I think is when people take it too far. But if you post their phone number and address, abso-fucking-lutely, that's doxing.
Well, Danita sure did do that. And again, this has been deleted. So you just see a very, very brief intro before Catherine stitches this, which is Danita talking about the fact that, yeah, if I find your phone number, like I'm going to call you.
No, I don't answer the phone for people I know.
No, literally same. But also just in general, to be a content creator, I don't give a fuck who you're friends with, any of this shit. To post this is so unhinged, but it just proves that, yes, it was Danita. She wasn't hacked. Nothing was like taken from her.
What could possibly, like, are you that bored? She didn't even say anything. Like,
also, what are you
guys talking about?
Do you have a blood pact with Hannah? Why do you have this loyalty to her?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't understand what is so like infuriating about this situation that you
can't you be just like the rest of us and just start like a group chat on how annoying that person is?
Right?
Like, that's fine. Like, come on, be a normal person. You don't need to dox them and call them and scare them.
Weird bitch behavior.
Fuck up and look up her phone number and call her, because if you trying to argue.
You try to argue with me? She wasn't even arguing.
The person she called
literally
and listed my personal information, and I don't really care about that. That's fine.
You should.
Calling's not the next step when you're in a comment like conversation with somebody. But just to clarify, her friend, I'm assuming is what she's calling her, found kittens in her car from a cat that she knew.
She explains the whole thing. We already know about it, so I will skip forward. And if you're asking if there's proof that she posted her information, there sure is, because Catherine reposted, and basically Danita was commenting all her personal information. And this is her responding to someone named Miranda who commented on her TikTok saying, please post where she doxed you. You said you have a screenshot. Obviously black out your info before doing it, but I'd love to see if she actually did that. And she actually did. Here it is. It's her commenting, Catherine M. Charrett, her full name.
That's insane.
The first thing that's redacted is her phone number. And then the second thing is her address. And then she puts, is that you?
That's like
commenting on her TikToks.
That's insane behavior.
Publicly.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
And that's why I was saying, I was like, let's slow down here with criticism of Catherine, because no matter what she said, obviously.
It was funny right off the beginning.
Right. In the beginning, but that's why.
Danita, I thought her original TikTok that you should have picked a less funny one.
I'm sorry.
You set me up for failure there.
So we're going to get into Hannah's role here in a second, because although Hannah doesn't feel like she should have to answer for any of Danita's actions, at the end of the day, if someone's doing that in your honor, there needs to be something happening here. Yeah, you got to shut it down. Do you see why this topic was so hard to title or like summarize in one sentence? I'm like,
I was like, oh shit, what are we going to title it?
I don't know what else to fucking tell you. And then in the caption of that TikTok that we just watched, where there's proof that she did dox, Catherine says, at Miranda, she absolutely did for no reason. She also called and hung up. She never tried to engage outside of the million comments in which I responded to. She hyped this whole thing up and picked me out of all the people commenting with advice that the original poster asked for. Only posting this because I was asked, and for her very few defenders thinking she's queen because she picked a random rescue person to start a fight with, only to call and hang up after one ring and pretend I ignored her. So I told her to call me back to discuss things in a civil manner.
I would never.
She has yet to provide the screenshot of the messages she's claiming I sent, likely because they don't exist. Personal info is everywhere. I don't care about that. I care about being gaslighted about kittens. You should care about being, I mean, that's insane. She put your fucking shit out there. If you put my phone number out there and I have to change my phone number, we need to square up. Just word to the wise. Everyone does need to be aware that like your information is out there, whether you think it is or not. Oh, 100%. But also, imagine someone doing that to you. I don't care if someone did something to wrong you. Like, that's so fucked. Even just the inconvenience of having to get a new phone number, even if it's not a safety risk, it's like, oh, fuck off. Like, right? And even if you didn't like her approach, this is insane. Like, this is just not the way you deal with that.
Before we go any further, we have a word from our sponsor, Revolve.
Revolve is my favorite website to visit when I want to switch up my style, because when I tell you they have everything, they really do.
Truly, you could scroll on there for days and never run out. Yeah, I did too. I'm not wearing anything from them right now, but that's because all the stuff I just got recently is for Coachella, because they have quite the festival shop.
Yeah, they have a ton of stuff for that occasion. For my personal favorite occasion, which is lounging, they have a ton of options. This is super comfortable. This is from the laundry room, and they actually have over 1,200 brands across the site. website, and that includes high-end emerging brands, exclusive labels. There's fashion, beauty, home goods. Like, when I tell you, they really do have everything.
I got like Levi shorts, and I know they have like a bunch of Ray-Ban sunglasses and a bunch of brands that you are really familiar with, but then also ones that you're like, oh my God, that's really cute. I want that.
So if you guys want to try out Revolve for yourself, they are currently offering our listeners 15% off their first order if you go over to revolve.com/DWKT and then use the code DWKT.
And that offer actually ends April 18th, so you don't have very much time. Go to revolve.com/DWKT and use the code DWKT for 15% off your first order.
And thank you so much to Revolve for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast.
And dressing me for Coachella.
Now, we're going to get a little bit more perspective into Hannah's point of view because, again, like I kind of like preluded a little bit, there was something that Catherine had commented on Hannah's post that had since been deleted before she stitched Hannah's post. So I feel like maybe Hannah had, like, she felt a type of way about Catherine, which is what we speculated she was probably going back and forth with Danita, a friend of hers, being like, oh, she's so annoying. But again, it's just her whole response is a little weird. Now, this does need to be said. When Hannah posted this, what we're about to watch, she did not know that Danita had doxed Catherine. She just thought she was commenting a bunch of shit in her posts.
Okay.
Or so she says. I don't know.
Okay, here's a quick rundown with the Danita and that random girl that stitched my video. She commented on my video and she was like, if you're making content about these kittens, then why is there no content about you seeking rescue for them or a mother for them or trying to actually look for help? And I responded and I said, well, there's probably no content about that because I don't need that. I'm taking care of them. She said, you don't have to be snarky. I said, I'm not being snarky. She said, oh, and you're letting your kids play with them? I said, oh, brother. And she said, it's fine. I'll screenshot and make my own response. And so she did. So she's trying to be in her comments like she's unproblematic and just giving advice that everybody else was giving and that she asked for advice. No, I didn't ask for your snark. You didn't come under my comments giving advice. You came under my comments saying, if you're going to make these kittens content, why aren't you doing exactly what I would do and then make that content? When I said, I don't need to do that, then you start coming for how I'm letting my kids play with them. You're narcissistic. You're narcissistic as fuck, and you're gaslighting the internet, and you're trying to pull in all of these other kitten specialists and go work for fucking PETA. I don't have time for this. I'm raising a family.
Jesus, I had not finished that. That's a bit much.
Things have really escalated for no reason. I feel like everyone needs to take several seats.
I told you. You would think that this is just like, oh, okay, whatever, kittens are... Everybody's losing their shit. I don't know.
First of all, I feel like narcissistic is thrown around a bit too much, and that doesn't really apply here.
It actually drives me insane.
Yeah.
Like, I understand someone could have narcissistic tendencies, but also to just be like, she's narcissistic. She's passionate about what she does, and like, you triggered something. That's it.
Like, narcissistic means being obsessed with yourself, right? Not being obsessed with cats.
Kittens. It could manifest in different ways, according to
interesting. I just feel like, why are we all so mad? Like, everyone needs to calm down.
Right.
Are the cats okay? How are the kittens?
Oh, they're good. They're all alive from what I know.
Good.
But what I will say is that this kind of like planted a little seed in people's minds that were looking for more context, because I feel like Catherine on her own, although you could be like, okay, she was a little bit passionate, whatever, she didn't say that she had left comments and like that was the origin of it. So people felt like she was almost like hiding something. Somebody actually commented on Hannah's post that we just watched saying, girl, I was on your side till I realized this other girl got doxxed because of you, because she gave nice, simple advice so 3 kittens don't die under your care. And then Hannah commented, when I made this video, I didn't know she had been doxxed.
Then you should make another video maybe and clarify.
She did.
Okay, good.
She did. Also, her caption to the TikTok we just watched was, let me raise my kittens in peace, in all caps. And then Danita reposted it.
Oh, of course she did.
Then Danita posted a TikTok. I don't know if this is in relation, but the timeline does add up. She danced to Locked Up by Akon before I think she went to work or something. And it just, I don't know if she was just making light of it.
Interesting choice.
And then this is Hannah addressing the Danita situation post her knowing about Danita doxing Catherine.
Your friend needs to take accountability. Your friend needs to do this. Why are you okay with her doing this? What do y'all want me to do? Bend her over on live and spank her? What are you expecting from me? I'm not her keeper. You know whose keeper I am? The kittens and my kids. Not that it's any of your business, but I also had bubble guts on Friday. So by the time I get the full story from her, she's like, it was up 3 seconds. I felt bad. I already deleted it. And then I doxed myself.
As a fellow Bubble Guts frequent survivor, I don't think that really holds. I mean, if anything, you're on your phone more. So I don't really think
there's an unnecessary addition to the story. Just like the gardening comment, but okay.
What do y'all want me to do?
Smack her across the face, pinch her nose, call her a big dumb dummy. Y'all got me here on my Sunday having to come up on the internet to what? Tell y'all that I'm never, ever, ever gonna talk to her again. This is inexcusable and I will never speak to that hoe again. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm gonna say. I don't
say,
Nobody
hey,
asked you to do that.
I didn't know that she did that. I didn't tell her to do that. I think she shouldn't have.
Yeah, and I already let her know that she shouldn't have done that. And it's like, speaking as someone who has some friends, this one over here, who has stood up for me in tough times. There is boundaries. And if you have good friends who are like actually looking out for you and not just like their own ego in a weird way, they will always come to you and be like, Jesse, like thumbs up, green light, because otherwise they could be fucking you over in an already tough time. If you're like getting canceled for something or something's happening in your life, like your friends are going to be like, hey, can I post this? Hey, can I do this? Danita just went AWOL. This would have been over. Like we wouldn't have been covering this if it wasn't for Danita. No. So it's just like, what are we doing here?
To then be like angry at people for like her wanting to say something. It's like, yeah, you should say something because fuck Danita and whatever. Like, correct. Make it clear that you don't stand for that.
You don't stand by that. Exactly. Also, Queen, please do not have your toddler shirtless on the internet.
Or maybe just on the internet in general. But
on the internet in general would be nice, but also just like, yeah, please do not do that. Okay, moving on.
I don't agree with doxing. Y'all are wanting me to literally pop my camera up and say she's a horrible, terrible person. No. But she was just a girl. She was taking up for her friend. We've all taken it a bit too far sometimes when somebody's coming at somebody.
But she didn't even come at you. That's the thing. It's like this was such a disproportionate reaction. There was not even an argument
to not
being
condemn
had.
it. But to literally endorse it and just be like, we've all done that. No, we have
not.
And we've wanted to.
How old are you? We are adults. Like, why are you calling?
Literally, you both are mothers.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Thank you. Happy Saturday. Jesus loves you. So do I. And so does Danita. Maybe, probably. And if she don't, I'm sorry. Watch out. She told us she was crazy from the jump.
What? That's not funny. I don't. She lost me.
Yeah.
Girl, you had us for the pack and play. You had us even for a portion of this.
Yeah.
But why would you throw yourself under the bus for this? Like, this is like inexcusable behavior. Someone commented, somehow, I think if you were on the receiving end, you'd have a very different take. And I agree.
Absolutely. Like, oh my God, imagine if she was on the receiving end of this, Danita would be losing her shit.
Oh, 100%.
Danita would be
lost her
showing
shit
up
for
at the person's house. Yeah.
Yeah, people commenting just like, wait, I don't think we've all doxed someone just because we're defending a friend. And like, yeah, we have both been examples of like writing or dying. Yeah, sure. But doxing? That's a crime. Like, maybe we don't need to do that, actually. I don't think she understands just the ramification of being an influencer with 500,000 followers saying shit like this.
Yeah.
You have to have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to doxing. I don't care if it's your fucking enemy in this world that has actually done you harm. Literally, like, I can name people that I would still say, like, absolutely not. Like, people should not be doxing them. That's not okay. Because it's like a human decency thing.
Exactly.
That's where that person lives. That's their phone number. Like, what?
Even if they're like doing something like illegal or like, that's not your business to be posting that on the internet for people. If they're doing something, you can report it to the police, sure. But like, you are doing that as a power play to be like, haha, look what I can do.
Now, again, we've talked about as well that if someone's name is on their profile and someone shouts out your first and last name, tough titty, you put that on your profile. But someone doxing your phone number, I would even say email, anything of that sort. It's just like, you don't need to do that.
Then they can be receiving harassment that they otherwise would not be getting.
Unfair.
Like, why?
And again, what the fuck are we going to title this? Because how do you dox someone over kittens? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, that was the doxing over kittens drama. Is that not fucking crazy? I was literally like, Danita, no. What is happening?
Like, girl, we don't want people to dox Janet.
Girl, you think we don't know we know everything. And it's just like, no, don't do that. Like, that's fucking insane. Like, sometimes you just find things out because you're like, oh, that's
I said, information is power. I like to know. I like to know.
Yeah, but never, ever should that be used as any sort of weapon.
Even
don't
when
be
we
weird,
covered
have human
Clinton
decency.
Kane, I didn't even put most of my findings.
That's right.
Because I was like,
you knew everything about him.
It's too much, honestly.
Invasive.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on, because that was a lot and longer than I thought.
Moving on to people that basically dox themselves.
Literally, there is nothing that Bri Olsen has left off the internet. And this is going to be a frustrating update because if you don't remember, we have one episode on Bri Olsen and 2K's lore, right? But then I think we mentioned her. Did we mention her at all in the 2K being
Dr.
friends with Kenny Smiles?
No, I don't think so.
So Bri Olsen and 2K, if you don't know the lore, highly recommend you do watch that episode that we did on it.
The reason they even came into our orbit is because they were in the Ash Trevino cinematic universe. Yeah.
Literally, what a bizarre universe it is. But yes, they are. They were engulfed in that because Bri Olsen on a few separate occasions hung out with Ash Trevino, and they actually bonded over being horrible mothers. That was a fun time. But Bri Olsen is the mother to Winter, who is a little baby boy. He is not even a year old, and she had that baby with 2K, or like I guess he's AKA 2K, but his name is John.
Weird.
Very not 2K coded, but okay. And Brianna and 2K both, and I want to very much stress this in this situation, both have exploited Winter to an inexcusable degree that at this point I'm over. And I don't think we like stressed it enough in the first episode about them.
We didn't know that much about 2K, I feel like, and we still don't totally know all of his lore. And we were like, okay, we're rooting for you. It seems like he like was a fuckboy, but he like
this baby,
had this baby and then he stepped up. But it's like he stepped up kind of in that he like takes care of it, kind of.
Not the it. It's a baby Lily. I know she's not a mom, so it's like, takes care of the thing.
Baby, I don't know. That he takes care of him, kind of. But like, well, first of all, he's friends with Dr. Kenny, which is just a huge red flag and very concerning.
Already soured, yeah, huge red flag.
You shouldn't stop putting your kids in content. He's not like
dive deep enough into it.
Dad of the year.
No, he's not squeaky clean.
Yeah.
No, and people paint him out to be because in comparison, Brianna Olsen is the worst. Like, literally by a landslide.
So our episode on them, it like goes over their like very tumultuous, toxic relationship past. And I hadn't really seen anything about either of them, honestly, before that episode when you showed me. And it seemed from like a newcomer into the situation from an outside perspective that she was like excited about the baby until she had the baby.
Yeah.
And that we found out that 2K had like not full custody, but it was like primary custody. And then she lives in California. He lives in Texas. 2K would have to fly with the baby to California for her to see him. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that was like an issue because it's like you're making the baby fly to you. And then that was causing like a lot of ear infections for Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once a month. And so recently, that's why we're talking about all of this. But I just wanted to preface really quick with saying like, we know neither of them are perfect. Yeah. And it sucks because I think that Winter ultimately is the one that suffers in this situation.
Absolutely.
So anyway, the reason why we're talking about this in general is because recently they had an updated like custody hearing where they were going to try to adjust the custody situation. So I know that 2K, obviously, although he's been adhering to the custody battle where it's like, okay, I'll fly to LA with Winter. That's obviously not what he wants. Yeah. Winter lives there in Texas, and it is affecting him health-wise, according to him. Bri actually missed that court hearing.
Great.
Now, I want to note, her face is very swollen in this next clip that we're going to watch. It looks like she literally just got beat up. And there is video of her fighting between her and Violet and some other girl. She's always getting into fights. She's always just like acting a fucking damn fool. So if you see, that's why she looks the way she looks.
That's even before all of this happened. I think Becca had sent me and was like, oh, are you guys going to cover? Because she was hanging out with Jack Doherty.
Oh, yeah.
The little douche that just crashed his car. He like kept filming and then like didn't even care that his cameraman was bleeding, and like not only was streaming with him and his friends, which it was just like, I just can't believe any of them are real. It's like the just scum of social media. Also, that on stream had admitted to not only other people partaking in like a federal crime. It was like these guys that had like stolen a bunch of cars. It was some kind of like scam that they did with like a car dealership with luxury vehicles, and that she is loudly on stream admitting that she's hiding those stolen cars that the feds are currently looking for, hiding them in her garage.
I miss my crypto era.
Oh my god, bro, I'm so mad.
I love doing illegal shit. My bad. Oh, just kidding. So you know how my best friend turned down Malone?
Yeah.
So her man made more money than Malone. That's why Malone apologized to him. So they both went to prison at the same time. The feds are still looking for a Lambo truck. We're hiding that bitch in that fucking garage.
What the fuck? Yo, fed.
Lily, shut the fuck up. You know, like this literally just blew my mind. She is now sorry, we're jumping all around. She is now dating a guy named Itai. And you know what Itai's rich for?
What?
Renting out supercars, luxury vehicles.
It's probably him then.
Holy fucking shit. Because that's literally what her boyfriend does right now.
No, I think that it is the boyfriend that she's hiding the cars for.
In the clip? Oh my God.
It's her telling Jack Doherty. There's like an article that, I think that is the guy's name. For running luxury automobile sublease scam. No. It is two other guys, but I bet you he was involved in it.
No, yeah, he does it with his friend.
No, it's Armon Maeve Hazarian aka Dean Hazarian, 48. Yeah, it's two 48-year-olds. These two got arrested, but I bet you he was involved.
It actually makes sense that her current boyfriend is involved in illegal shit, and we're going to get into that in a second. But anyway, jumping back to her in Miami, there is a semi-chronological order here. Again, remember, she was supposed to be going to virtual court. Not even court in Texas, virtual court.
And she couldn't show up for that?
Sure couldn't.
What about court today? No, we got other things to do. We're in Miami. Oh, yesterday was Sunday? Oh, what was I doing yesterday? Oh, I was being a victim and being targeted. That's what I was doing.
What? She's on drugs, right?
Yeah. No, confirmed, and we'll get into that in a second. She seems so just shut down. And it is hard for me just as a mom to believe that someone just genuinely is just like, fuck my kid. I don't care. I'm in Miami. I don't know if she's just that like evil of a person or if she has just like
given up,
fallen into situations and just given up. Like, because it seems like a person that's given up. Like her saying like, oh no, we're not going to court. I'm in Miami. I don't feel like she's being genuine. Like when she's saying that, just being like, oh, we don't care. I think that she's literally just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm just like speculating as like just how I see it. And I just feel like she
or
is.
Or maybe it's like one of those like
downfall of her life.
I'm bad for him anyway, so like I shouldn't.
It could be that too. Yeah. It really could be her being like, why would Winter even be around this? But then that kind of doesn't make the next part of this make sense because she ends up kidnapping Winter, and we will get into that. It's a lot. But anyway, she was on Live with Perez Hilton, he's like weirdly involved in this cinematic universe, and he interviews them a lot. And so he was asking Bri why she missed court.
I saw there was some update with your custody situation.
Yeah, so we have court. We have final state court in April for a child custody move away order. But until then, my visits are in Dallas. So just this month.
And that was because he filed some kind of emergency hearing?
Injunction?
Yeah, but they only gave it to him because I didn't show up to court.
Why did you not show up to court?
I slept in.
What?
I'm just being honest.
You have a lawyer though, right?
Yeah, I rehired my old one.
Wow.
It's not because I don't care. I'm just being honest. Like I slept in and I didn't think it was remote court. Like I didn't think I needed to show up. I mean, they were probably gonna let him get that visit anyways.
What?
And
like,
you also
really only 1 month. It's only 1 month.
But are you worried now that that's going to be like, is it the same judge next month that had this ruling?
You're concerned you're going to look bad?
Are you worried that the judge might not look favorably upon you next month because you didn't show up to the hearing this week?
It's not like it was a big deal. It was just an emergency order he filed. He does it all the time.
So if they do take away custody, would you be able to still get visitation even if you don't have custody?
I mean, I don't think they would take away custody of my own child just because of something stupid like that. So cute.
Completely, I mean, just in another fucking world. As a mom, how, like, giving up a month is giving up your fucking life. Like, what do you mean another month away from my kid? Yeah, that is a big deal. Like, I'm not going to see my child for another month.
But that's the whole thing with her. It's like, even the way she responded to like, oh, like, I slept in. It seems like she is so immature that is giving like, oh, I slept through my college class. Haha, isn't that funny? Like, I drank too much last night.
No.
It's like, no, this is your kid though. And that's a court hearing.
I wake up for so much less. Like literally if I need like just to send you a file or something, I'm like, oh, I gotta wake up early to do that. Bitch, wake the fuck up. You could sleep another time. You can nap that day if you need to. Like, are you joking? That's your child. But yeah, she ended up getting the court order and was basically told that the visitations for that month had to take place in Texas.
Which she's not going to do, I would assume. But no, you said she kidnaps him.
Correct.
I've seen content you've shared on social media suggesting that you intend to pick Winter up and take him back to Los Angeles. Please be advised that is a violation of the court order. Should you fail to exercise the entirety of your visitation time in the state of Texas, we will be filing an ex parte motion for the immediate return of Winter for you to have professionally supervised visits only moving forward.
Was she laughing?
Doesn't say that I'm going to jail though. Just says they'll file something. I body shame others. I body shame people who body shame me.
What?
Should I read my court order?
No.
I don't even think
I This is not a fucking game.
Let's see if we can slip through the cracks, guys.
What?
So what she's reading is 2K's lawyer hearing her, because on live stream, and we're just going to get into how much she's showing on live stream because it's bordering on FouseyTube.
Yeah.
Okay. It's bordering on we see your fucking whole fucking life. There's nothing that we don't see.
I feel like most people, even if they live stream a lot, it's like they don't want to show certain stuff because they look bad. But it's like she looks bad all the time. What else is there? Like,
she does not help her case at all.
Yeah.
She thinks it's a joke, and it's not a fucking joke. And she fucks around and finds out very soon. But because she vocalizes literally every second of herself on live, the lawyer of 2K knew that like she was planning on not just abiding by, okay, we're going to do Texas. They knew that she wanted to take him to LA. So they warned her, hey, that's a violation. You can't do that.
And why would she even want to? Because it seems like she doesn't care anyway.
Well, what's even more interesting is not even just about not caring. It's about where she lives. So she's lived in apartments. We've seen the whole, her whole saga.
Yeah.
That's not where she lives right now. Right now, she lives in a content house of people who not only do drugs, but do OnlyFans and do a bunch of, it's like literally an adult house. Okay, which fine, if you're all adults, do your thing, live your life, queens.
But don't
and
have a fucking baby there.
Don't.
This is the MILF House LA.
MILF House?
MILF House LA. We're all parents here.
Okay.
So me, Wale, Santos, we're all parents. That's why we all live here. You cannot be a part of MILF House if you don't have kids. So that's basically how it goes. It's really cool vibes. We can all relate and give each other advice and relate on things.
Because you guys are all parents, right?
We're all parents, first time parents. So yeah, Wally has 2 kids. I have 1 that I know of, and then Santos has 1 that he knows of.
Just bring the baby on the yacht.
Holy shit, that's so fucked.
That's the obvious solution.
Is it not?
No, you wouldn't take your kid on a yacht?
Not if there's a bunch of drunk randos on the yacht. The fuck?
It's not randos.
It's spring break. It's gonna get sick.
Now, when we find out that on the fucking tables of that house there is cocaine, literally I have proof of that, Bri seems to think in all of this that she's invincible. She laughs at, the lawyer. She laughs at everything.
Everything that's posted. A lot of times, they're even hiring private investigators to literally tell you.
Okay, so I'm being watched right now by his attorney.
To build a case against
Good girl, do your job.
This is money well spent because they are making the evidence more persuasive.
Work really, 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 really hard. Good girl.
Until she fucks around and finds out, which she does quite often in this situation. But just in general, how has she not learned by now in losing custody? I mean, okay, she has partial custody of her child, but as a mother.
Anonymous tipped $5. I understand wanting to shop lawyers, but you are giving them less than a month to prepare for you. Does that concern you?
It doesn't necessarily concern me. It just, it is what it is, and better to start at some point rather than not at all. That's just the way I see it. So yeah. Custody cases aren't necessarily one and done. They sometimes take a while, so.
You've lost custody.
it
You have
seems
literally
she
lost your
doesn't
child.
See herself as a mother. She sees it as as soon as she gets Winter, I feel like it's okay, who can watch him?
Yeah. Well, no, that's what it is, 100%.
So
or
it's
let me
she's
play Miss
babysitting
Rachel
or something.
Yeah.
TTS right now. I swear to God.
By the way, she's, if you don't see, she is streaming and taking her son to Universal in a carrier. She just thinks it's a game.
Hi.
Hi.
Where's Brianna?
Why?
You're Brianna?
Yes.
We need to talk to you.
Wait.
Come here. Brianna, please.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Come on, talk to me.
You're not.
In Universal Studios right now.
I wonder how they knew she was there.
Yeah, no idea.
Just give them room. But she got things to do this weekend.
We got things to do this weekend.
That's what he said?
Yep.
I have a crazy ex.
Yeah.
So this is time number 1 that she gets escorted into the back of a police car with her son strapped to her. The first time of
Honestly,
this weekend, not the last time.
Very nice that they didn't handcuff her.
She didn't get arrested in this scenario. She got escorted, I think, off the premises of Universal.
To the police station, I'd assume.
No, she didn't get arrested for that. And that wasn't when Winter got taken away from her.
Oh, hi, girlies. So, we found out that apparently Bri got escorted to the police car, and while they didn't arrest her or take her anywhere, they apparently interrogated her for 10 minutes and then let her go under the condition that she would come bring Winter to the police station the following day.
When the cops finally let Bri go, her 21-person entourage cheered "Free Bri" as baby Winter looked so confused and uncomfortable. We do not know exactly what the cops said to Bri, but later in the stream, Bri could be heard saying that she is supposed to go to the police station tomorrow.
They want me to show up to the police station tomorrow.
And weird. Guess who didn't bring Winter to the police station the next day? I'll give you a hint. It was Bri.
Guys, I'm not showing up to the police station tomorrow. They have to come and get him from my mansion in Hollywood Hills. Thank you.
I know that it is a crime. Like, I remember, because I'm a child of divorce, I remember it's like written in to the documents of like, they can't leave a certain, like there's a whole custody agreement. And if you do not abide by that, you are breaking the law.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's an arrestable offense. That's the part that I'm confused on.
I think it is, because like, think of like when they do like Amber Alerts for like parents that take their kids.
I think it depends on what kind of a danger the parent is.
It could also be that 2K didn't press charges.
I don't know. It says here, I heard that 2K anticipated that Bri would try to take Winter to LA, so he beat her there. So 2K did run to LA very quickly. I don't know if he went at the same time as Bri or like literally a day after, but obviously she's videoing everywhere that she is. So 2K flew to LA to grab Winter and then get the cops to facilitate that situation. And he was literally parked outside of her house on the hills and showing everything.
Checkmate, little bro.
On Snapchat.
Playing with the wrong dad. God, everybody better start praying for everybody in this situation. God.
So like he was parked outside of the house. He had his friend, and honestly, it is quite unfortunate because again, they're both filming this and 2K didn't get in the fight, but Santos was there. He was in the house with Winter being in the house.
My custody, is that a LAPD chopper?
Anonymous tip $1. You have to have her phone in her hand.
Yo.
Poor baby. I are in contempt of
Yo, what? Is that LAPD
tomorrow morning.
Are you serious?
Oh my goodness. They're circling around.
That's after she literally had Winter crying in the house. Santos looked annoyed. Everybody looked annoyed. And then there was like this other really weird situation where Itai was like trying to tell Bri how they could still remain streaming while Bri was bathing Winter. Because like they're doing some sort of 24-hour stream situation like Fousey Tube.
Oh my God.
And Bri was like, well, how do I bathe him? Because he was crying. He was so overstimulated, like it was just too much. I don't even want to show that because it's genuinely like so distressing as a mother to see that and to know that a mom would put them through that because they want to live stream. Like, how do you like not as a fucking parent feel like I am doing something insane having my child here and being overstimulated? I would give up anything for them to feel calm and not like that.
She seems so detached from being a mother. It's just
she doesn't
like
care about
she's
him.
Watching the baby.
Yep. Literally,
but not
barely
really.
Even that.
Yeah.
But like, let some strange motherfucker who is not the father of my child be like, well, this is how we'll still bathe. Shut the cameras off. I'm going to bathe my child. He's overstimulated and I'm going to take him to a hotel because all these people are being loud and doing drugs and he's stressed. And like, there was like a time where he was like saying dada, like crying and like screaming basically for his dad because he doesn't really know Bri. Let's be honest.
That's the thing. It's like it
seems
like she's like using him as like a little accessory to like get attention from people. As soon as they're not giving the attention, she's like, oh, what do I do with him?
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. And because this was live streamed 24/7, there is no shortage of clips. I just want to be like very careful of how long I linger, especially with clips that even have Winter in it, even though we're blurring him out. It's just like, it's just so unfortunate. She's a horrible mom. And like 2K is a better dad than she is a mom. But at the same time, please take this boy offline. Like, stop. Like, enough is enough. There's no need to subject him to seeing this when he grows up. It's just disgusting. But even after the fact, so what happened was the cops showed up. It was a whole thing. Santos got into a fight with 2K's friend. He had like brass knuckles and left 2K's friend with like bruises on his face. Absolutely insane. But then even after all of that went down, she got escorted again by the cops outside of her home, forced to give the baby up. So literally the cop takes Winter from her on live stream and says like, okay, we're gonna take you. Okay, buddy. And she's like, bye, love you, Winter. Like, that was it.
Like a carpool.
Literally. Just like, okay, bye, baby. See you next. Like, it's insane. No matter what she's going through, to be detached like that from your baby, like, fight for your fucking child. What do you mean? But even after all of that happened, and it's on live stream and everyone's seen it, this is her addressing it.
I never said I was gonna steal him again. I just said I stole him once. What the I'm gonna kidnap him from the supervised visits in Dallas.
Anonymous tipped $5.
I'm gonna pass on my kidnapping classes. Go to kidnapping classes. I will pass my kidnapping classes. The hack is if you don't have a court order and you've never been to court,
steal those bitches. We're gonna go steal them again.
Change your kids.
Not the last night. We're gonna take them again.
Coca-Cola tipped $1.
So it's
So
just
like
a joke
she
to
literally
her.
thinks it's a joke.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's absolutely a joke. It's a joke to Santos too, of course, because he's another fucking deadbeat parent that can't be bothered to see his child. But also, just in general, like, does she not understand all of this can be used against her? Like all of this?
No, I
This
think
is
she's
insane.
honestly seems too stupid to comprehend the gravity of any
Absolutely.
of this.
You know what she also thought was funny? She really cooked this one up. As the cops were outside waiting for her, not only did her boyfriend try to negotiate with the cops and be like, okay, well, we need a few hours. And the cops are like, no, you have 10 minutes. Like, shut the fuck up. Here are the papers. So when they finally came to terms with the fact that she did need to like exchange Winter with 2K via the cops, she thought it would be funny to put on like this tank top that said MILF on it.
Literally, she's using the baby as an accessory.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no other way.
That's
that
even
this
like
can be
even those
interpreted.
clips. It's like it's for content to be like, oh, the kidnapping joke. Like, except
100%.
girl, it's not a joke. You did.
Yeah. And also just in general, like it's just so embarrassing. Even if there wasn't a child involved in this, there was this whole situation where like she went to a bar and the lady next to her was so drunk and literally just looked at her and was like, actually, let me just show you, because it's like literally imagine having these people streaming next to you and having text to speech. Because even if someone pays $1, they can do text to speech and then it just like shouts it out super loud. So just listen to this drunk lady just like, can you actually shut the fuck up?
Turn it down. Sorry. Okay,
Chat, stop donating. Guys, stop donating.
Dying, you're killing.
I'm
wait,
sorry.
me or the speaker? You are killing me.
No, it's her.
Medium.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I wouldn't worry
That's
about it.
really inconvenient. My dreams are like falling into. Wait, do you want us to switch with them? Yeah.
She said, my dreams are falling into a black hole. She told Brianna.
Me.
And Brianna is ironically being nicer to this random woman than she has been to her child, to anybody surrounding her child. Like, this is the nicest I've ever seen Brianna Olsen, a random drunk lady at a bar. She's like, oh, we'll switch with them and we'll pay for their drinks and it's totally fine. I'm so sorry. Laughing the entire time. I'm like, girl, this is what you take seriously and actually do something about?
It's all insane.
Now, there is a weird side quest here that we really won't go into because I don't know the validity of it or how much of it is a conspiracy, but essentially people are theorizing that Brianna is part of like a modern day trafficking.
I would
ring,
believe that.
essentially.
Based on even just like the yacht situation, that's 100% the vibes that it gives.
Yeah, so she actually was a sugar baby. We've talked about this, but like we know the person that she was a sugar baby for, and he had like islands and all sorts of weird shit, and he's in prison right now.
When people think sex trafficking, they think like kidnapping and like throwing and like
Right,
you're
right,
chained
right.
up. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not what the majority of sex trafficking
No.
is. And she is in her early 20s. It's like these girls that people will pay and these rich men will fly them out and like they don't know who they are and they'll be like, hey, fly here. And then they have sex with them. That is sex trafficking. Like it's not as like conspiracy theory, like I mean, it's horrible.
No,
obviously.
and I don't know if it's true, but all I do know is, again, we have proof that there's drugs. She's shown them on live. We actually have clips. I don't know if we're going to show them, but like of her going off screen to like do a bump, like if it's nothing. And then we have these two clips. So this is the part that like made people think, wait a second, why is she asking people to pay her rent? Why is she asking people for food and like begging for it?
Do you have a charger for this? I'm trying to pay this shit. My phone's dead.
What charger is it?
Why are you crying?
Because I don't like having to remind people to do shit for me. Like it's been like 4 days, Jordan.
Relax.
Like that's my bills. Like don't play with me like that, dude. No, but y'all both have.
What do you mean? Wait, are you
Okay,
on live right now?
yeah. You would think my biggest issue is Lena upstairs. Like, you would think that'd be my biggest issue right now. I don't even care about that. I don't even care about that because of what the fuck is going on right now. If somebody offers to do something for you and then they don't do it, are you going to be upset or you're not? You're just going to throw it like, then don't fucking say it in the first place. Like, I'm not wrong for being like, oh, like, you fucking said you were going to do this and you did it. And I asked you day after day after day. I can't even fucking go out to motherfucking Poppy and enjoy a fucking night out with my friends.
And that something was pay her rent. And so Itai was like
giving
supposed
that
to
she
pay
like
her
doesn't
rent.
have any money.
Well, no, it definitely is giving that. But
And then
also
she
look
relies
at
on
the
them.
eating one. I don't know if she's like burning through it with like drugs. Like maybe that's where her money's going. But look at
definite
the
possibility.
food one. I was like, you can't just get yourself some fucking Postmates to the hills.
Just breakfast sandwich with sausage and American cheese and scrambled eggs. Can you text us?
Both of our phones are
Tell him.
Anonymous
I'm hungry. I'm not doing this again. We're gonna have to wait to fucking eat, please. Just figure it out. I don't care what you have to do. If you have to move mountains, I'm fucking hungry and I keep like missing, like, and someone ate my fucking bossa nova, and then this bitch didn't fucking cook my steak right. Like, I just want to eat. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Yes.
No, that was 2 days ago.
My bossa nova?
Who cares, bro? Somebody fucking took it. I don't know what you
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want a fucking meal. Can I be fed?
Yeah.
Can I eat anything?
What does it look like I'm doing right now?
Are you ordering it?
Yes.
For Jordan to pick up? How's he gonna know to pick it up?
Does that seem like a normal thing, or like would you not just order your own shit?
I don't know. Obviously, how would we? But to me, it's not really giving like, please let me
She doesn't have
eat.
access to her money?
Yeah, no, it's giving, she is like being like
a baby.
Take care of me. Like,
yeah, maybe it could be that too. I think that people are also theorizing the trafficking thing because of something with her landlord. And then also there was like a clip where she was like in a hot tub, and then the landlord came and like talked to them at night. And it was just like this whole thing that people are like,
it's weird.
I think it's just becoming a lot. And there are drugs involved. So then people are just assuming basically the only way that she could be that disconnected from her fucking child. I mean, I think people are trying to rationalize it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense.
It could be happening. I think the drugs could totally be their own thing. And I think she could just be like having sex with these
for sure
people. Or if it's just that one guy, if it's just her boyfriend, I don't know. But like, it seems like they're in a very not safe, not sustainable
Never
environment.
bring Winter back into that shit ever fucking again.
Oh, hi, girlies. So I know we just were discussing the possibility of the sex trafficking, and those videos didn't really serve as like super rock solid proof. And I don't know, I wasn't very convinced. That is until I saw that our good friend Becca actually has made several videos on Bri in the last week. And it looks like there are some other potential reasons we should maybe be worried about there being sex trafficking going on. I'll let her tell you.
This is nuts. Okay, so you guys know how Bri Olsen and that whole group of people are living in the old hype house, right? I was looking into who owns that house now, and it's been Danny Fitzgerald, which means, and I'll explain why, that these girls are absolutely in the kind of danger that we suspected that they were. Danny Fitzgerald is a really bad guy. Okay, Danny Fitzgerald is a longtime friend of Peter Nygard. Peter Nygard is in prison for the next few years because he engaged in a terrible rush houring operation that victimized thousands of women. Danny is actively being sued and facing charges for rush houring in compliance with the crimes that he committed alongside his longtime friend Peter Nygard. Here are some of the most recent court documents that I could find. Like in this lawsuit, Danny's being sued by 10 different women for him using their bodies for profit, rush houring them, right alongside Peter Nygard. If you don't know who Peter Nygard is, he is one of the worst when it comes to men who victimize women. Very wealthy, very powerful, very dangerous. And even though Peter Nygard is in prison, it seems his longtime friend, Danny's keeping the dream alive. And this is also particularly relevant because Bri Olsen has said in the past that she used to be a certain kind of somebody to Peter Nygard, a certain kind of baby. I don't think I can say it on this app.
You can find pictures inside of Peter's house before he got arrested. This was his Marina Del Rey house on the beach.
Obviously, Brianna is not always honest about everything. I can't say whether that's true or not, but it is factual that Peter Nygard is longtime friends with Bri Olsen's landlord. Let's take a little glimpse into Danny's social media so that we can see what's actually going on and some of the things that have already happened inside of this house. So first of all, it's worth noting that Danny Fitzgerald does follow Diddy. Here's a picture of Danny and Abel the weekend, talking about how Abel used to be a tenant of Danny's. Like, this was when the hype house was the hype house. This is like Alex Warren, like the guy who sings that song that's going viral all over TikTok right now. Like, the creators that were in the hype house were incredibly young. Like, why was this man hanging around them? Here's a post from 2020. Here he is with French Montana. Danny also owned the FaZe group's home that they were living in. As you can see there, there's Sam Pepper and FaZe Banks. Both don't have the best reputations, but especially Sam Pepper. Here's a post on Danny's page from 2017. And as you can see, this is the same background. This is the same pool that Bri has been posting at. This photo says like 1,000,001 words to me. This girl in the purple, her body language speaks volumes. Here he is with Dan Bilzerian. Here he is with 21 Savage. Here he is with Trey Songz. And this is the house that Bri lives in, Danny's house. As you can see, the elevator and the tile on the wall in the background. Here he is in 2018 with Farrah Abraham. Here he is with Summer Rae. Here he is with Jason Derulo in 2019. Here he is with Rice Gum, and I think that's Matthew Espinoza, I could be wrong, in 2019. Here he is with Logan Paul. He's just like, he knows everyone. He knows all the influencers. He follows all the influencers. He follows all the celebrities. They're always at his parties. This is so creepy.
You look so pretty. You look so pretty. You did a video again? No. The Last Supper. The Last Supper with me and Mike are together. There we are. I love you, big dinner. I love you too. There's Naomi. There's Michael, our favorite party man. There's George down there. There's all the hot girls. This is the Last Supper for Friday night.
This is the house that Bri lives in.
20-year creations. And it looks so good. And you just go, wow.
It was being used for something called
Let's
selfie
zoom in
pop.
on what it says up there.
Same
it
house.
says
See, you
Selfie
can
Pop
tell
Land.
it's the
This is
same
where all
house.
these girls come in. Wow. After you, honey. It's where the beautiful Selfie Pop girls work out.
In conclusion, the man who owns the house that Brianna Olsen brought her child to, and that other moms in that house have brought their children to, that is being used to film explicit adult content, is owned by the longtime friend of Peter Nygaard. Not all money is good money. Okay?
Shout out to Becca for giving us that intel. It seems like that is a bit of a rabbit hole that I frankly have no interest in going down. So yeah, this whole situation is so fucked for so many reasons. But that's all for the update. Back to us. Bye. Like
That's
it's just
insane that
giving
you
like
ever did.
they're living in like a fancy trap house.
Yeah. No, genuinely. And that's the problem with social media. You know, it's been a blessing for many people. I think for ourselves included, like it's been amazing and you could do what you love and make a job out of that. But this is a downside
When
of
what
it.
you love is drugs, then that is when it becomes a problem.
Right. Well, that, but also when you have no standard, when you are willing to be in public places with your child even and doing like $1 text to speech and like literally losing your dignity, having people tell you you're a piece of shit out loud to like everyone around you. It's just like so like there's just no soul or like dignity left in it. That's the downside of social media because they're making a lot of money.
Well, yeah. And then I think of like college when it's like you have a house party and it's like people just pass out everywhere and come and go as they please. And it's like no one really gives a shit. And it's like that's the life they're still living, but with more money. And she has a kid.
But does she? Because like at this point, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I don't think she knows what a mother is.
No. And that's the thing is like we could say anything we want about 2K exploiting and whatever. But obviously he is better than her in this situation where it's like, I could say you're exploiting your child, but that he probably feels loved in his home with your mom and you. And so, yeah, I would venture to say.
I've seen a clip of him saying that he like doesn't really drink anymore. And if he does, it's like he arranges with his mom ahead of time that she was gonna exactly
to have someone else who is of sound mind just in case of an emergency or anything.
Exactly. You don't go, oh, actually I'm gonna go to a party and go do some drugs and just like see what happens. Her lifestyle is not conducive to having a kid, so she should not have custody. But it's so sad to see her so like I guess just aloof about it, where it's just like whatever, here, take my baby.
You would have to like rip my child out of my hands. I'm sorry. Like if I genuinely felt like I wanted to be with them and that was the right thing or whatever the fuck she thought when she was taking her children, you would have to rip my child from my hands because I can't hand them over to a random police officer. That would ruin me. And she just like goes off.
It seems like she just has no attachment
Get him
whatsoever.
Next time. No, at all. So that's the update is that Brianna violated her custody agreement and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And the only person that's really suffering is Winter. So it's just so unfortunate. And I genuinely hope that the internet pulls an Ash Trevino on her and she gets kaputzed and she's selling chapstick at a fucking McDonald's using their Wi-Fi in a month. Because honestly, she needs a wake-up call.
Without custody.
And it clearly wasn't losing her child. Yeah, without custody. Absolutely. But anyway, that pissed me off, but we've been requested a lot to update on Brianna Olsen.
Yeah, fuck her. She's
sweating.
Disgusting. I hate it.
I know, me too. We love the internet.
Yeah, I'm like we hate the internet because of her.
We hate the internet, but we're trying our best. My question, okay, do you want to head upstairs to the Tri-County Jewelry Exchange? Thoughts?
What?
I just always know you're going to be so confused by anything I bring to the table here. Okay, so last episode we had upside down grandma in the Spider-Man situation. That was great. Spider-Man and Deadpool. Now we have a Tri-County jewelry exchange. Look at this fucking queen.
Welcome back to Tri-County. I'm gonna head upstairs to the Tri-County Jewelry Exchange. The Tri-County
Bye,
Jewelry
Queen.
Exchange is the largest jewelry exchange on all of Long Island. The Tri-County
I don't think
Jewelry
they thought this
Exchange
through.
has more than 30
See you later.
helpful and professional jewelry.
Period.
that will
Can't
help
hear you, ma'am.
every need.
Okay, see you.
We'll see you
Bye,
soon
Queen.
at Tri-County.
She turned.
Oh, well, that literally, what does your For You page look like? Because what is this?
I know. The top comment says, "We almost lost you there, girl." She almost
That's
fucking
dangerous.
ate
You,
shit.
you gotta watch where you're going on escalators.
Oh my God. I don't know what my For You page is, but you know what I love is that every time I send one to Alex, he goes, I already saw that, or I was going to send it to you, or he does send it to me like 5 minutes after I see it. So some people out there have my For You page. Do you have it? Let me know.
Do you know
I don't want
what
to feel alone.
I've been getting tagged in constantly. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but so many people have tagged me in this video of someone getting proposed to at the Dr. Pepper Museum in Texas.
Please tell me that's not something you wish for.
No. And when I tell you I've been tagged in it hundreds of times. I'm like, guys, come on. Oh my God, actually, I saw this, and this is not even my kind of humor normally, but the way I actually cackled.
Oh, it said no cream. Kelly, she said no cream. Oh, it said no cream. Kelly, she said no cream.
The splat was just so loud.
I
and it
hate when
seemed-
people get all messy because of it, but she seemed all right.
Oh my God. It just
Sometimes
seemed
I
like
feel like, oh.
it's like you knew she was expecting it, but she like didn't realize it was going to be that bad.
That much foam. Yeah, that was a lot of foam. Well, guys, we have been here for 40 years, so we'll definitely be going now. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, let us know, and if you didn't, don't let us know. But as always, we hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Bye.
Cheers.